here at a very special Beast meetup, kind of a slightly impromptu thing at Jeremy's place, and he's going to talk to us about his Alpha 40 deck. And I guess let's take it away and show this thing off a little bit.
All right, so Alpha 40, 40 cards, no sideboard. You got to keep it safe. Okay, I don't believe in any of this unsleeved Alpha 40. So I got the nice, Dragon Shield art mats, right? With then a triple sleeve with the over sleeve with kind of the little gold borderage right there. Yeah. So I'm playing a classic deck in Alpha 40, super fast, pretty dominant when it gets going. And as you'll see, it's going to be just a basic channel X-Spell deck, right? Okay. So channel Fireball, channel Disintegrate.
Yeah, that seems pretty classic.
You'd love to load the deck with just all of these if you can, right?
Sure,
but Alpha Taiga's hard to come by.
You only have two?
I only have two. I'm sorry. I'm like, gotta get on that more. And then the rest of the land base, just a bunch of forests to be able to power that channel, and then you need some red for whatever X-Spell you're gonna do, right? So speaking of X-Spells, in a 40 card deck, I run, I like flavor, right? So definitely got to go with the OG Fireball. Yeah. But sometimes, catch them off guard and get the Disintegrate in there, right? And Fireball's nice. You can split it with a couple creatures. If you start getting behind, you don't have enough mana. But
also kills a set stroke.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Cannot be regenerated, right? That's the key. The other key to this deck is the Llanowar. Okay?
Awesome.
Staple 1/1. The nice part about the Llanowar versus, say, like a Birds is that the Llanowar can often attack for 1 on turn 2.
Sure.
And that ends up being critical because if you're holding, the nut draw of like the channel Fireball, you don't have the Lotus, right? This deck is no Lotus. Then you want to drop that Elf.
Mm-hmm.
You want to swing on turn 2, right?
Sure, yeah.
And then you get that 19 damage. Then hopefully you can channel Fireball right there because you can only channel, basically as much life as you have to be able to still stay alive, right?
Sure.
Okay. And then can't do this deck without the mainstay card channel.
Yeah.
Okay. 6 of those.
6 of those, all right.
And then there's some other ways to get ahead in terms of that mana game, right? If you're playing against a fast deck, which often you are with Alpha 40, because those guys are coming at you with Savannah Lions and Drudge Skeletons and Plague Rats, right?
Sure.
You can take some artifacts now to try to get ahead in terms of your Fireball game, right?
Okay,
so Soul Ring, Mana Vault.
It kind of functions in a similar manner to this Llanowar Elf, right? Because you get ahead by a few, and that's all. So maybe you don't have to channel for quite as much, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And to round out some other artifacts, always a Chaos Orb, right? If you have an Alpha Chaos Orb, that's always going to be good.
Awesome.
And in Alpha rules, right, the Chaos Orb destroys anything it touches, right? So if you're playing against a Chaos Orb, once you see it hit the table, you got to spread all your cards out. Don't stack your lands up, right? Because once they activate the Chaos Orb, you cannot move your cards any longer. And they will just flip, and they destroy what they take, right?
Sounds good.
I do have one of the Alpha Moxes,
Very nice.
Little Emerald there, that helps. And then some other utility cards like, Regrowth here, which I don't think you need a lot of, but in case you get stuck, you can regrow anything that you need. And a Fork, right?
Okay.
Which actually has helped in cases where maybe you just, can't channel for that much, but you can channel for 8 and then, fork it, right, for like a total Fireball for 16. And then finally, another nice card that I have here, Alpha Shivan.
Ooh, nice. How many people have you killed with that? It's signed too.
I actually have killed a decent amount. Yeah, it's actually signed by Garfield.
Yeah.
No inking on the side for the controversial folks on Facebook.
Yeah.
But people don't, if the game ends up going long, it's always nice to drop a Shivan.
Yeah.
And you got to remember that you could actually channel for the colorless mana to save a couple of mana if you need to drop the Shivan. So.
Slightly less well-known channel Shivan Dragon.
Exactly. It's probably not worth it. You got to pay 2 to channel it anyway. But you know.
Yeah.
So let's show a couple of good starting hands here.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and I think we just pack this together.
Okay, quick question while you're doing that. I thought you're talking about like alpha rules for how you deal with chaos orb. Do you have an alpha rule book? Have you read it?
I've read the scanned version of the alpha rulebook online. I do
awesome.
not own one myself, and beyond its scarcity, and I think that's mainly the issue. I think there's one, you know, selling for like $300 on eBay, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you know, this alpha 40 craze here has definitely made those things very scarce. Right?
Yeah, I've got some beta unlimited ones. They're just the same, and then I have some revised ones, which is slightly different. But I pulled those out because we were playing revised 40.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I mostly wanted to know whether or not the 40 actually made sense. I couldn't remember if the revised rulebook had already done the 60 cards or what it had done. I couldn't remember.
So, you know, you're always going to ante, and in Alpha 40 it's a fake ante, right? But it takes one card out of your deck. And let's see what we are going to get here. So, opening hand. Oh, we got the Shivan, right? Shivan, Disintegrate, Regrow. Okay, so this is not a great opening hand here. Okay. Unfortunately, in Alpha 40 rules, there's no mulligans. So you just have to play what you get, right? Got to keep it, right? So let's see. The nice part, though, in Alpha 40 is you draw first, right? Or, you know, if you're first, you get to draw, right? So we draw. It's a nice taiga, right? Nothing quite there yet. Okay, so this is definitely gonna be a slow game. Okay, more land, and that's okay with this deck, right? Because you know, you will always be able to catch up because you're an expert, right? And you just, you know, people have various, you know, ways of how they set themselves up. But, you know, given that, you know, Alpha 40 is so scarce, you know, a lot of times, you know, people aren't playing like fully powered, right? It's not crazy. It's not a crazy fast format, right? Okay, so here. There's the channel, and then basically this would be like turn 4, where you would be able to drop this down and do your channel Disintegrate in this case. And in this case, if you weren't touched for any damage, this would be the 20 damage right here, right? Because you got the extra land, channel. Well, maybe this is the extra channel, Disintegrate, you know, extra
and
1,
then
right?
19 life.
Yeah. Or like we said earlier, in this case, you could go channel and 2 red for the good old channel Shivan Dragon, make a statement, you know.
I like it.
Yeah. But the deck can be really fast. I will poach a starting hand like we kind of talked about, right? You know, I think obviously the best channel Fireball is probably something that I don't have if you drop the Lotus, right? You have the Lotus and, you know, a Mountain, and then you can channel Fireball for 20, right? But what often, you know, you start with one of these, and Atlanta War, right? And then maybe turn 2, you know, you have like a Mountain or a Taiga if you're lucky, you know, and a Mox, and that ends up being a good turn 2 win, right? Or on this you can, if you did have a Mox, you know, you can also channel Fireball there, or drop a Soul Ring. You know,
there's a lot
of different variants, right?
Yeah. Even without Lotus or something like that.
So that's pretty much it. You know, it's a little bit linear, but it's a classic.
Yeah, it is a
classic combo, right?
That's true.
And when you're talking about things like Alpha 40, you know, most of it's going to be aggro. Okay. And I think that's what, you know, it makes the format kind of fun too, because it goes back to the good old days of just turning creatures sideways, right?
Sure. Yeah. So how many games have you played with this deck?
I've probably played a couple dozen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How have they gone for you? Pretty good.
This is pretty strong. Yeah, this is definitely pretty strong, and it ends up being a little bit. For me, at least, feels bad a little bit to just keep comboing out like super quick, right? Because even that hand that we saw in the beginning, where you didn't draw any channels or whatever. It's just a matter of time, right?
Yeah.
And if they get any type of slow start, then you'll definitely be able to catch up, and it just puts you in a better position, right? Because the more land you have, the more flexible you can be with your live channel.
Right. So I mean, I guess you can always do the pity channel Shivan Dragon play instead. And,
I mean,
give your opponent a chance. Is that
Alpha 40 has very similar flavor to old school, right? People want to see cool things happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not just about winning, right? Sometimes it's about Lana Wars attacking each other, and that's always fun and clearing the deck and clearing the table. So it seems to have gotten a big following these days.
Yeah. So are you looking to change anything about that, like upgrade to new cards, or what?
More Taigas.
More Taigas.
I think it really ends up being more Taigas, and I got a guy. He has an Alpha Ruby. He's being a little bit of a turd. Won't give it to me.
Guy,
Obviously more boxes, right? And if I do actually luckily own a beta or an Alpha Lotus.
Okay.
And so if we ever did an Alpha 40 tournament, I'd probably crack that out of the safe deposit box, throw that in here, and see if we can pull the real combo, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But I think everything else is actually pretty optimal. You have seven X spells and 6 channels, and that doesn't seem to be too much. And
that makes sense. Yeah.
Otherwise, everything else is just probably depends on what you have.
Yeah.
Because even getting more things like soul rings, maybe a couple other soul rings could help, but they're not gonna. It's not gonna make or break the deck as it is right now.
I see. Makes sense. All right. Well, we can close this out, I guess. Do you have any words of wisdom for us?
No. Everybody just keep building those Alpha 40 decks, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a really fun format, and it's already crazy expensive anyway, so you don't actually have to get that many cards, right? And I know they did one Alpha 40 tournament, maybe I think it was on the East Coast. Some guy had a killer deck, fully powered out to the T, which is fine, right? But I think simple, really nostalgic flavor stuff like this is really what it's about.
Yeah, it's definitely where it's at. That totally makes sense. Yeah. All right, well, cool. Thanks, Jeremy. And well, maybe at some point we can catch a game with us.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, man.
Thanks.